Another episode of Sandy Killer Projects. Today we're going to be checking out the 2023 Tesla Model 3 Performance. It is a friend of mine's car. It's brand new, less than a month old, so we're going to be talking about some of the features, showing you how they all work, and seeing if some of the BS that people say about Teslas is true. So let's get started. One complaint that I've heard about these, and I'll start off by saying I am not personally a fan of electric vehicles. That doesn't necessarily mean I don't like Teslas. I don't like electric cars. I think they've got a long way they've got to go still until they're good enough. The complaints that I've heard about over the years is poor fitment of panels. Okay, so I walked around this car and I've checked out every panel on it. The only thing that I saw that was even slightly off is the fitment of this plastic bumper to the metal fenders. It's a little bit tighter on the passenger side than it is on the driver's side. And really, if I wasn't already looking for what would be a complaint, I wouldn't even have noticed that. I only found it because I was looking to see if the panels were messed up. This Model 3 Performance, you get some cool upgrades that go along with it. Because it's a Performance, you get the Performance aerodynamic styled wheels, you get an upgraded brake setup and suspension. To get some interesting little add-ons that go along with it being a performance car, you get a carbon fiber rear spoiler. Things that tells you that it's the performance model is over here on the dual motor logo. It has a red line underneath it, and that is indicative that this is the performance model. This is a dual motor model, so it has more power than just the rear wheel setup. All right, so let's show you the interior of the car. To do that, we're going to show you how to get in. First thing you do is you push the back panel on the door. It pops up in a stick and the door opens up. So normally I start on the doors when I'm checking stuff out with the cars, just to show everybody there's not much here. There's the door open button. There is no lever, no latch, no grab handle to do it. You push a little teeny button in the top and it pops the door open, and then you just push the door open to get out. There are the 4 window controls, and there's a cup holder. That's it. All right, so as well as there being not much going on the door, there isn't much going on the dash. There's no dash cluster, there's no gauges, there's no anything that you'd see in a traditional car. On your steering wheel is a few controls that allow you to navigate things on your infotainment system. There's turn signals and wipers on the left, and your drive modes on the right, and your parking button in the back of the stick for that. Beyond that, everything on this is controlled through the infotainment system. You have to push the steering wheel to tell the infotainment system to open your glove box. In the main modes of this, there are all your regular settings. So like I mentioned with the glove box, if you want to open it, you hit this, it pops the glove box open for you. You have window lock controls, child locks, fold mirrors in for parking. There's all sorts of controls that are built in for all the little niches and buttons and things that you can do within the car. You can also open your front trunk and your rear trunk, because obviously there's no engine in this, from this. But amazingly, most of these controls can also be done through your telephone app, which allows you to control a lot of the controls that are within the car. Okay, so with the built-in stuff into the screen, also like your climate control settings are built in here too. It's all set through the bottom portion of this screen that pops up when you touch it. It allows you to put it into auto, AC, heat. It allows you to physically control the vent adjustments on either side. It also has some cool little features like it will keep the air conditioner on while you're not in it. It'll turn it on especially for the dog. It also has your phone controls built in if your phone is connected to it. It also has a button right here that allows you into your music screen for whatever you have set up with the car. This button down here allows you to look at the cameras that are built into the car so that you can see which things you're looking at. The doors are open right now, so it has a weird angle on each of those, and then it shows you the camera in the back. The button also gets you into your apps. It also gets you into some of your controls for like your defroster, rear defroster, seat heaters, steering wheel heaters, and wiper controls. It has this goofy screen called emissions testing mode, which is basically a whoopee cushion that you can have it play anywhere in the car, which it's goofy. That's the only reason why I'm playing. I think it's hilarious. It literally makes it sound like somebody's farting. Side of the screen that has the fart modes, there are all sorts of other little things that allow you to change things and do setups on stuff. There's a light show mode that allows it to sync a light show outside of the vehicle with your stereo. There's all sorts of just built-in things for you to to play with, and part of the reason why is because when you're charging, you're going to be sitting and waiting a while, so it gives you things to do. While you're waiting to charge, you can use the built-in apps that come with it. As you can see, it has Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and then, of course, tutorials, which is basically your manual for the car. It also has a set of built-in games, a large menu selection of different things that you can play and do while you're waiting for the car to charge. It's probably one of the goofiest features in it, but you can actually steer the steering wheel while playing a version of Mario Kart. Besides the infotainment system, just below that, you have two wireless charging pads for the driver and the passenger. You also have a storage compartment in the front that opens up. Inside of that are two USB-C charging ports. Just behind that, you have a cup holder. Just behind that, you have your glove box. Your glove box has one charging port for a 12-volt connection in the back. You have your auto-dimming mirror. Above that, you have a camera that's built in for Sentry mode, and then you also have two LED lights, as well as a hazard button. Okay, so to get a view of the passenger side seat, as you can see, the controls are almost exactly the same. Over there, there's nothing really any different. And then these, the interior of the car comes with what they're calling vegan-friendly leather. Getting a look at the rear passenger compartment, it is a fairly spacious rear for the size of the car. I'd say it's definitely more spacious than the 23 Civic that we have. Also, it has individual climate control areas so that the passengers can adjust their own vents. Beyond that, it's a pretty standard rear back seat. The rear does feature a 60/40 rear split. To open that, you lift up this handle right here. That opens you up into the trunk compartment space if you have luggage or anything large that needs to go through. So to pop the rear trunk, it can either be done through the phone app, or there's also below the top of the gate, there's a button underneath here next to your camera accessory. Beyond that, you have a fairly spacious rear trunk compartment and a spare tire compartment below that that just has more space. Next to your trunk, there is a panel right here that can be opened up by your phone, which allows you to get into your charger accessory, and then it can also be controlled from your infotainment system inside of the car. Having no engine in the front, it has a frunk. It can be popped by your app. It could also be popped from inside of your car. There's no secondary latch on it. You just open it right up, and then you have a front control space and a tow hook built in if the vehicle needs to be towed. Also inside of the front space is your washer fluid, and interestingly enough, there's a button in the front that is your manual release in case you're trapped inside. That's going to do it for the 2023 Tesla Model 3. This is a pretty cool car. It's got lots of cool little quirks and features that are there to make it entertaining and interesting for you to have a car. It definitely feels like a much more luxury car than, say, like my Civic. But as for me, this doesn't work for my type of commuting and what I'm doing. Maybe sometime in the future when they extend the mileage closer to, you know, let's say 1,000, I'll be more interested in buying one of these. This car in particular costs just under $55,000, and the reason for that is it's eligible for all sorts of discounts and rebates from the state and from the federal government. It's definitely worth it for some people if those rebates end up working and the way the car drives works in their style of driving. In my case, it just doesn't. But very cool car, lots of cool little add-ons. Maybe in the future you'll see me driving one, maybe we won't. I'm happen to be a muscle car guy, so I'll probably drive something with an engine. But as always, thank you for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll keep making more content.